Some of those shoppers might have been looking for LPs. Remember those? Well, in a digital age, the record player is making a comeback. Here's James Murray.
First the quarters go in, then the discs start to spin. In Toronto's Black Dice Cafe, all night long, the records play. 60s stuff, mostly. Patsy will do just fine.
I'm crazy for feeling so lonely.
They're getting harder to find, the jukeboxes and the 45s inside. But they're the soul of this bar and a big deal to owner Hideki Satoe.
I first watched a movie, American Graffiti. That was when I was 16 years old. And since then, I was a big fan of it. And jukebox was something that I always wanted to own it.
Turns out all that nostalgia is good for business, too, even if some of his customers, raised on flat screens and smartphones, have to be shown how the buttons work.
I like the process of looking through what's on there and picking the song out, and then the little, crackly sounds, and then finally when it drops, hearing it play. You can imagine what it might have been like to hear those songs for the first time when they were brand new on the radio.
And imagine when vinyl was king, decades before waves of technology would wash over the music business and change the way music was played. First, it was competition from CDs, then MP3s and online sharing. Record sales dropped fast, from more than 1 billion sold around the world every year to almost nothing. Most experts' prediction, extinction. So there was all that vinyl on its way to becoming history. Then something surprising happened. Vinyl had another play left in it. Call it a vinyl revival. Starting just a few years ago, more bands, all kinds of bands, began pressing and selling records. Nowhere near those peak years in the early 80s, but up nearly 30% last year, up nearly 35% in 2014.
Hi, gang.
None of this comes as a surprise to Toronto DJ Dave Bookman.
From the second greatest double album this side of Blonde on Blonde, it's The Clash and London Calling.
A radio veteran, he still puts cutting-edge music on the air using a digital music system. But his daily feature, called Crackle and Pop, comes from his personal collection of records. He says it's easy to hear the difference vinyl makes.
This is like a warm hug. How I feel when the album comes on is that something has embraced me and has given me love. And it's nothing wrong with this, but this is more like a firm handshake, and I'll take a hug over a handshake any day.
So, who's doing the buying? Well, it's more than just nostalgia.
My mental state really starts to decline if I'm not listening to music.
Alex Brooks spends his off hours flipping through his crates.
It's one of my favorite albums, Fortet. There Is Love in You. It's when he switched to dance music kind of stuff.
He spends hundreds of dollars at a time for music he plays, get this, start to finish.
The record made his journey from the mind of a producer through their equipment through the mastering engineer. It got pressed and then makes its way to your local store, and then it's in your hand. I think that's an amazing thing.
Holiday sales are expected to give vinyl one final bump on the way to another record year.
And I'm crazy for loving you.
James Murray, CBC News, Toronto.